colors. Okay, so I apologize. I'm like 2 minutes late, but I got caught up in coloring to get ready for our project today. So I apologize for that. But here we are for our Friday holiday helper. And since it's Fun Friday, I wore a super bright shirt, and it is a Scooby-Doo shirt. I don't know if you can see the design if you like zoom in or whatever, but we were talking about cartoons with our cartoon mashup the other day about how we were using the Freeze and Friends stamp set, which is cartoon based, and the art background, which is photoreal paper from the Feels Like Frost. So here's that one. But I called it kind of the Scooby-Doo mashup because it's that cartoon with, you know, the characters in the front are super cartoony, but the background scenes are painted scenery. So anyway, I wore my Scooby-Doo shirt today just because. So, all right, we are gonna do some coloring. Morning, Tanya. Hi guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Morning, Joan. Hey, Sue. See, it is Fun Friday. Everybody's happy. And I've discovered since our chatting that it is like the perfect West Coast time, although Petra, I know you're mountain time. It is the perfect West Coast time to grab your coffee and come and watch with us. So all of you Central time zone people and East Coast time zone people, thank you for finding time in your morning to jump in. So, all right, you guys ready to see some projects? We're gonna make a snowball fight today, a penguin snowball fight. We actually had snow on the ground. I saw somebody made a little snowman with like dregs of what was there, but we are gonna do some snow this morning. So let's pop on here and get you guys situated. So our colors, oh, you're Central? Oh, I thought you were, sorry, Petra. Okay, I guess I don't know where my time zones end very well. All right, so we have the pieces here, which I have pre-stamped most of, because I think mostly what I want to show you is some tips on vellum layering today. So we're using Freeze and Fun, which is about to retire, and the Freeze and Fun dies, Freeze and Friends dies, which are on sale. So watch out, because some of these products are possible sell out items. I know the snowflakes you can't get anymore, so if you wanted to make these projects, which will last you all the way through winter, you're definitely gonna wanna make sure you get your orders in soon, and all kinds of LovenStamps perks for ordering from me. So leaving that there, I have these pieces which I've already stamped and die cut, and the dies on this thing are incredible, even down to the little tiny snowballs. Yeah, Jenny, you're right. We actually don't have penguins around here. Although there are some really cute penguin zoo clips lately. If you need your penguin fix, check out some zoo fun. The penguins are super characters, so they make great videos. But anyway, the snowballs here, they're shaped, and they're even shaped to the point where like the little divots in the snowballs come out. So they're not just perfect circles, which makes them super clever looking when they're cut. There's a die for the pile of snowballs, kind of all the pieces that you see here. And I have this one guy here left to die cut so that I can show you our coloring. And I'm using my Stampin' Blends. There are, I think I checked just now, and the Purple Posy Stampin' Blends are still on the clearance rack. They are current color. Hey, Shirley. So you can keep, using them and getting all the other pieces you want from them. But they are the single package version, so they're on clearance right now for like $1.80. So if you don't have those yet, you can pick those up. All right. So I've colored our trees for the most part. I'm going to give you one coloring here just to remind you how easy it is to add shading with the Stampin' Blends. And if you haven't seen the other penguin projects, or not penguin, but Freeze and Fun projects, you can go back and check those on my blog. They're all blog posts, which makes them easy to find. Okay, so I have my lights there. But then I'm just gonna go back with a dark, just jade marker, and just underneath our snow, I'm gonna add a shadow line. And that really helps to bring out the shape of that snow, which kind of gives it just a nice complement to the whole project. Okay, so for our snowman here, for his body, I actually like to use, instead of the black, sometimes I like to use the dark smoky slate. Which gives sort of the impression of black, but doesn't like cancel out all the little details in our friend here. So I'm going to color here. There is this brush tip, and then there is a bullet tip at the other end of the marker. But honestly, I love the brush tips. I find myself doing my detail work with the brush tips. Okay, I don't know about you guys. If you're a bullet tip fan, feel free to speak up. I'm gonna use Rococo Rose for the rest of the hat. And I love the way the shading goes on this too. So I'm just gonna do, like I do with my Stampin' Blends, I usually do one coat of the light, and then I go back and add the dark. And look what happens to our, so here's our before picture. Look what happens to, well here you can compare him with his blue scarf wearing friends. See how this one here just looks a little bit more dimensional with the extra benefit of the darker. So what I'm gonna do is just go along the bottom of his scarf, kind of where it would be curved down. And I'm gonna do the back side of his hat here, and one kind of the under lip of the top of his hat, and then his scarf here where it's in the back and underneath, and then sort of the under of this curve. All right, and look at how much that just makes our little penguin friend jump. So he's kind of jumping. His posture helps it too. So I'm gonna grab my pumpkin pie light and just do his feet and his beak really fast. And I think he needs a curl. Let's see, do penguins have pink hair? I'm gonna give all three of my penguins a little pink hair here. Okay, all right. So now we're going to die cut him. And I'm gonna bring in my, not lose any pieces underneath there. I'm gonna bring in my baby boss, as some people are calling it. And I'm gonna use my washi tape trick, which if you see like little flags of washi tape standing all over my corners of my machine, it's because then they're handy and you can reuse them a lot of the time. So I'm gonna give this a good nudge and crank it through. This is the most handy embossing machine to keep on your stamping table. Okay, so we're gonna need it one more time here. So we have our penguin here all cut out now. So we have all of our elements. So let's go to our card. And I started mailing card kits yesterday. So if you're getting LovenStamps card kits to go for a $50 order this month, then watch for those. They will be in your mailbox soon. So, all right, so I've started with the Smoky or Seaside Spray card base. And then I have a strip of silver paper, silver foil sheets, and then a piece of that photo reel paper. And if you wanted to use this side for your projects, have at it. I'm gonna use my multi-purpose liquid adhesive here because it gives me a little bit of extra time to reposition my paper. So here that is, so I can kind of scoot that around if I still need to, and then I'll switch back to my main squeeze. Remember to keep on rolling. So roll your wrist past for the perfect break every time on your seal. And then I'm going to position this on my card front. Okay, so now we have a base for our snowman or our penguin snowball fight. And then I have some vellum pieces. So on our card, you'll see that I have positioned the vellum so that it has all these fun cut edges up here so that it looks like snow-covered hills. And the way I did that was with this die, which is included with the Friesen Friends die. So this is kind of like the most all-purpose die in the set. Well, there's also those three little stars, which might be also pretty all-purpose. But what I'm gonna do is take my paper, and I've cut these to 3 inches wide, and I am going to bring this back in here because what I wanna do, oops, don't take that away, flip it over. Don't forget to flip your plates all the time when you're working with your embossing machines. So wait, do I have this the right position, the right direction? There we go, that's the right direction. So I'm gonna cut it the 3-inch direction, and I'm just gonna throw this in the middle somewhere. It doesn't honestly matter where, because it's a nice curve, any position. And then I'm gonna crank this through. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna give me 2 pieces of the vellum, both with die cut edges. So see here, See how it has the pretty stitched edge? It is a great die because it manages to have that stitched edge on both sides. So you get two good pieces rather than just one. And then I have one that I cut earlier. So I'll bring this back. And vellum is fabulous, but one of the tricks with vellum is figuring out how to adhere it so that you, let's see, there we go. How to adhere it so that you don't have your adhesive all showing all over the place. Okay, so what I've got this like position now, and what I did, I didn't want to do this because then it's all kind of the same. So I stuck this extra piece in here, which was cut on a different part of the curve, and I've got these apart here. But when I stick these down, my adhesive is going to show. Okay, so question is how to manage that. So what I do is I get this kind of settled to about where I want it. Okay, so I've got my 3 pieces. And then because I don't want them to move while I'm positioning my penguins, I'm going to hold them in place, grab my Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's see, that's a little, I'm lining this up on the side here with a silver. See how that's kind of straight across there. So then I'm gonna take my Stampin' Dimensionals, and where I know I'm going to stick a penguin or something like that, I'm going to go ahead and stick a dimensional. You can kind of position those if you want to, or if you're working from my card sample, you can kind of keep an eye on it there. But now I have my pieces, we'll put a tree down here. Now I have my pieces all stuck together so that it will, I was reading Tanya's question, so that it will stay where I want it. So Tanya asked about the plates. Why are you supposed to flip them? Because you hate when you have new plates and it makes its first cut. I know, right? One of the most common questions I get is like from people who've just gotten a new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and they say, oh my gosh, it's like scratched my plate. Is that okay? It is okay, all right? So here is the ones that are relatively new. Let me show you my beat up ones. These are a beat up set. You see, you can't even like see through them anymore because of so many scrapes on them. This is okay. This is what's meant to happen, and it is to protect your die. So when your die cuts, you want your die to cut into something that isn't going to damage the die. And so that is why these plastic plates are meant to be cut like that. The reason that you flip them back and forth is that if you don't, you can sometimes end up with a warp in them where you're cutting on one side of the plastic, so it's getting super damaged on one side. And by damaged, I mean cut the way it's supposed to. It's not a bad thing. But if you only cut on one side, you're getting that side all chewed up, which means the other side of the plate is still super like flat, and it wins the battle. Like if you think about the battle between the front and the back of your plate, which way it wants to warp, if you leave one side clean and never cut and the other side chopped up, then it kind of starts, the clean side starts to win the battle, and you can kind of get some warping in there. So it's honestly not the end of the world if they're warped, especially when you're using the washi tape method to position your dies, but it can be a little bit annoying. So just flip them back and forth and try and use all the different parts of your plates. So, okay, hopefully answers your question, Tanya. All right, so I have my pieces here, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm going to start positioning my penguins on top of them. So, let's see, and I'm not gluing my vellum down yet because I want to get the biggest sort of attachment bang for my buck. So I will put another dimensional here under our penguin. Let's see where he's really going to go. So this is kind of like a piecing game to make sure you get all of your penguins stuck and covered up on all of your vellum. Okay, so we have that. And then this guy is gonna go up here, and when I flip this over to the back, he's gonna get another Stampin' Dimensional, but we'll hold off on him. So he's gonna go way over here into the silver margin just to kind of mix things up. I have our pile of snowballs, which for best snowball fun positioning should be between all of the penguins, right? So that everyone can reach them. And then I'm gonna take our trees and we'll put some trees on here. So this tree is gonna go in the background. I think I'll maybe stick him later. This tree, like I said, is going to go here on our vellum corner. Okay, so I'll stick that here. And then we're gonna have one more tree that we'll just pop it down here. All right, so I've got one more vellum on there. Okay, so now we have our trees and our vellums all set, and you're welcome for the explanation. I'm gonna flip this over to the back side, and now is the time when you get to put your adhesive on. But here's the game. You only get to put adhesive where it is hidden by one of our penguins or snowball things. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue so that I can kind of easily just coloring in the lines. Okay, let's see. Is there one more place there? Nope. Okay. All right, so that is where I get to stick my glue. Then I'm gonna flip this back over, and now I'm finally sticking it down. So I'll get it positioned there with my vellum all set. I think in the original one, I put it closer to the bottom, which is gonna mean my tree is gonna be pretty high here, but that's okay. All right, and then I'm gonna pop my tree onto the actual background here. I know, gasp, he's not layered on the snow. And then each of our snowmen needs a snowball. Yeah, Christine, the blends clearance was a pretty nice surprise. I was excited about that. There are lots of great things on the year-end clearance specials still on sale, so don't feel like if you didn't get those, you missed out. Okay, when you stick tiny things, always put your glue on the project, and then take your pick tool here to pick up your tiny things to send them or to add them. And of course, the snowballs have their little lines are meant to go kind of on the bottom, right? Because that was where the shadow would fall underneath the bottom of the snowball. And so we'll give each penguin a snowball for you know, easy snowball fun. And then we need to add our greeting. So I have a strip here, and the greetings on this card are terrific. This one is, I need my memento black here. This one is life's better when we're having fun together. And I have both greetings mounted on the same block, which makes it a little tricky to see. Okay, life's better when we're having fun together. And then I'm gonna take that one off. I'll just stick it there on my stamp case. The other one is sending warmth your way, and I'm actually gonna mount it this way. You can stick your stamps onto your block, but I just find that it's easier to set them down and then put my block down on top. It's the way I get the straightest possible lines. So I'm gonna stamp the sending warmth your way, which is gonna go inside our card, and then we'll stick that in. So this is our inside. It really needs a little tree or something, but I don't have one mounted right this second, so I'll add it later. I'll show you because you always want to decorate the inside of your cards at least a little. And then here is our greeting piece, which I'm gonna trim down. And I love the font for this. Just even the font is fun. It's got this kind of fun serif tilt to it. Stampin' Up! Does a great job of mixing their fonts so that they really match the style of a stamp set. If you're having trouble figuring out what style a stamp set is, check the font and see how it makes you feel. Is the font playful? Is the font elegant? And then you can kind of mix your other project or make your other project pieces match. Well, unless you're doing a Scooby-Doo mix-up, right, with your cartoon and your photoreal. Okay, I know this open ink pads make you tiny nervous, so I'm gonna close that. All right, so then we have our finished snowball fight with penguins, because who wouldn't put a field of penguins together for a snowball fight? So here are the 4 projects for our projects this month for the LovenStamps tutorials. And you can watch all the videos for these as of now. They are all posted to go along with your PDF tutorial. And if you placed an order in my online store and you didn't get the PDF tutorial, make sure you send me a message. There's a little button there that's kind of a no contact button. And if you click that, I can't see who you are when you place your orders. So you always want to make sure you're shopping with me and make sure that you don't click no contact. Otherwise, we won't be able to reach out to you to give you your perks for your ordering. So, all right, guys, that is our Fun Friday video. So what could be more fun than snowball fights with penguins? And yes, it is a really cute stamp set. It's definitely not listed or limited to just Christmas. So keep it handy all the way through winter this year. Send some fun cards. Even if you don't have small people to send cards to, this is a really good stamp set for anyone. Which reminds me, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about stamping with kids. So there's that extra stamp. So depending on what you're doing this weekend, if you have small people in your life that you're seeing, I have a couple tips about stamping with kids and why the age group that I think that this stamp set would be perfect for. So what I find, and I've been stamping with kids for a long time, 20 years, and as a parent for, 16, I guess. But teaching classes for kids and things like that, I find that the smallest kids like to use their stamps like they are, like they're drawing pictures. So they're used to having a piece of paper, drawing a scenery, kids and having fun, or tree and house, the typical little kid crayon drawings. So when they see stamps, those age kids kind of, 2, 3, 4, even 5, 6, they like to use their stamps to make scenes, which is why Freeze and Fun is a great one and would make actually a great Christmas present for kids in that age group, because they want their piece of paper and they want to have the house and the car and the tree on it. So this is the chance for them to make a scene with their stamps, okay? So once kids get sort of past that age group into like the 9, 10, 11, 12 kind of age, and these are, kids slide back and forth between these stages, but kids in that next age category, they really love to put things together. They love piecing things. So punch art is great for them. I did a punch art video last week. The menagerie mix-up stamps and dies, this is what those age kids love, because they don't necessarily want to copy what we do. They want to be taught how to use the supplies and then be free to explore on their own, which is great. I love that. It doesn't have to, if I teach a class of, 10-year-olds, their projects are not gonna look like mine. Tanya says I haven't left the kid coloring stage. That's okay too. All of these are fun and they make great projects. But if I teach a class of like 9 and 10-year-olds, they don't want to copy my project. They want to know how to use the tools and then to be left to create on their own. So, handing them a menagerie mix-up stamp set where they can literally make pretty much any animal that they want to and then color it, this is what they want to do. So then once you get past that into like the junior high and definitely by high school, those kids, if you can, they're still kids, I guess. Those kids want to make things that look like what we do, right? They want their projects to look right. And so then you're definitely looking at something like Paper Pumpkin, which is the perfect gift because those kids want their stuff to look like it's supposed to look. They're very much into having things ready, and then they like it when it looks like the sample. So Paper Pumpkin is great because it comes with a sample, and they can make the sample, they can do it exactly like the pictures show, and then if they want to like branch out a little bit, then they can take those same pieces and mix and match them to do something different. Kind of like the gingerbread Paper Pumpkin projects that I showed earlier in Holiday Helper, which reminds me that my Paper Pumpkin for December will be coming soon. Very comforting. So Paper Pumpkin is definitely not just for kids. I'm really looking forward to doing that one. If you want to sign up for the next Paper Pumpkin, you can do that on my website at LovenStamps.com. So. All right, anyway, that was my little tip about stamping with kids and figuring out what kids' age is and what they generally like to be doing. So, and if you have your own tips for stamping with kids, feel free. There's actually a category on my blog for stamping with kids and projects that are great for kids. So if you go over to LovenStamps and go to my blog, and then in the right-hand bar, there's a search button. You can type kids or something, and there's a whole category of projects that are great for stamping for kids or with kids. So enjoy your weekend. If you have fun projects to share, make sure you post them over in the LovenStamps Create and Connect group. I love seeing what everybody's doing and cheering each other on and so forth. And thank you for tuning in with me this Friday morning. So happy stamping, guys. Have a wonderful weekend.